Tourism is a major contributor to the New Zealand economy. Expenditure reached $21.7 billion in the year ending March 2009 and contributed $9.3 billion to New Zealand's foreign exchange earnings and directly employed 184,800 full-time employees. Tourism has a strong potential for future growth by taking advantage of the country's natural, cultural and heritage attributes to add to the already world-renowned attractions, not to mention the Rugby World Cup of 2011. Obviously, tourism is a major contributor to the Auckland region's economy as the gateway for the more than 1.7 million visitors who arrive or depart annually. In 2008, Auckland hosted 12.5 million visitors, 10 million of these domestic and 2.5 international. This is expected to increase by nearly 10% to 13.6 million by 2015. Auckland offers many attractions, excellent accommodation, restaurants, shops, museums, art galleries, activities and entertainment. The region can add to that with hot pools, market towns, vineyards, country and scenic experiences, with 2 harbours and fabulous beaches. Auckland's tourism does not need to compete with Rotorua and Queenstown or even Sunny Nelson, but should develop more attractions to keep the tourist longer in the Auckland region.
Ka whiti te rā, ki tua rehua, ka ara kai whare te rua, ko puki tapu te maunga, ko moana nui, a rehua, te manukatanga a Hauturoa, me te awa Waikato, ngā awa. Well, those very early people who first came here were the Waiahua, and they were spread over a great part of the country. It was through battles that the Waiahua established themselves permanently, more or less, in Tamaki, with Auckland City. And they were living here for approximately 200 years before the great chief Hua Kaiwaka was born. And from Hua Kaiwaka came the descendants, came our tribe Ngāti Tiata.
The Tamaki Isthmus is associated with many of the canoes that came in the early migrations. Some crossed Tito Waka, the narrow stretch of land between the Tamaki River and the Manukau Harbour. This was the most frequently used canoe portage in pre-European New Zealand. Canoes had to be dragged from the Tamaki River before they could cross the Manukau Harbour. From there, they could make another portage at Waiuku to access the interior of the North Island along the Waikato River. Many who made these early canoe journeys stayed and settled in Tamaki. The present-day tangata whenua at Waiuku are the Ngāti Tiata and are descendants from the tribes of Tamaki. Waiuku Heritage Village has the potential to become a significant attraction within the Auckland region and is ideally positioned to capture a significant percentage of these travellers. Added to Waiuku's inherent cultural and heritage appeal is its strategic position at the base of the Awhitu Peninsula on the Manukau Harbour, a stone's throw from Auckland. The proposed development of Waiuku, once New Zealand's second busiest port, is a strong incentive for investing in and transforming the waterways, the township and the port of Waiuku back to their former glory. Waiuku should become a vital part of Auckland's One Economic Development Plan and should be able to reach its potential through single governance direction and funding. The development of Waiuku Heritage Village will introduce Waiuku's perfect combination of scenic value and heritage experience, all within a magic waterborne or train ride from Auckland. Through years of hard work and enthusiasm, the Glenbrook Vintage Railway achieved their goal of reaching the Waiuku township. Their aspiration is to terminate at the wharf, thus creating a connection to a water ferry service to Onehunga and on by train to downtown Britomart. As the major waterfront areas for redevelopment are all sited on public land, the opportunity exists for the governing body and the private sector to become partners in the development. This will ensure that the overall goals are attained, There is no shortage of local investors wishing to take part in any public-private development of Waiuku. Over the years, without the volume of shipping using the port and stirring up the bottom, and with the continual runoff of silt, effluents and nutrients from the land, the Waiuku waterfront estuary and wharf area has, like much of the Manukau harbour, deteriorated. The waterways are choked with mangroves and sediment, reducing the tidal flow, raising the level of mud, making it almost impossible for all but the smallest craft to reach the wharf. The Waiuku village has retained many of its original heritage buildings, and these are now an asset. There are 16 listed heritage sites within the confines of the village. The village centre has its own distinctive character and ambience, and is a delightful place to visit. Like the harbour basin though, the town and many buildings are in need of restoration and maintenance. The removal of mangroves and the dredging of the Waiuku estuary will return a much valued recreational asset to the people of Waiuku. Any development that attracts visitors to Waiuku will benefit the local community, both in terms of economic development and in the creation of a more vibrant township. New businesses, more jobs, improved facilities, commuter transport options and the restoration of the harbour will all contribute to a greater sense of well-being for the whole West Franklin community. But it goes much further than Waiuku. The whole Manukau harbour is sadly in need of attention, having been neglected for years. Many estuaries are clogged with silt and mangroves. There are few shore-based facilities, no navigational aids, no passenger transport. If Waiuku is to realise its dream and become a significant tourist destination, the Manukau harbour will need to be considered as well.